In this episode of The Journey, we're going to talk about being the exception to the rule and doing what's most convenient to you. So today I had a conversation with my coach, and I was telling her that, some of the decisions that I've made in order to pursue some of the things that I need in my life right now, or some of the goals I have in my life right now, like getting my daughters into a new daycare at a reduced cost, as well as making sure that my bestie has the trip that she wants for her birthday in Belize. I mean, not Belize, in Bali, and getting that booked as soon as possible. And I felt like some of the decisions that I made are not working out the way I would like them. And we were doing a comparison. And if you watch one of my other videos where I talk about the hard truths about travel agents, you'll see I compared using a travel agent to like shopping at Costco. Whereas if you're building your own trip on like a travel search engine, it's like going to Whole Foods, right? And the reason why I said that was because Costco, you can buy things in bulk, but they create them in a certain way so that they're applicable to everyone. Whereas at Whole Foods is usually for the people who are, in essence, exceptions to the rules, right? They're the people who eat certain stuff, who are allergic to certain stuff, who are particular about what they're going to intake, right, on their skin or their body or in their foods, right? And so if you're more particular and you want to be in more control, then you're probably going to be somebody who's going to want to build your trip like Whole Foods as opposed to buy a trip at Costco, right? And so one of the questions that she asked me was like, how do you make the rest of your life, the rest of the areas of the life that you're struggling in, feel like Whole Foods, right? Y'all check my hot mama cup. And I was like, that's a good question. So what I said was, I was like, when I think about Whole Foods, I think about the exceptions to the rules and convenience, right? Again, like all the exceptions are going to be in Whole Foods. Like the different types of foods are not just going to be everywhere. And then they're also going to make it very convenient for you to get it, right? I don't think I go to Whole Foods at all, really, because it's going to be delivered at my house, right? Or it's going to be easy for me to pick up. Or, they're all together, right? All of the unique foods that I want are all in one place. I don't have to go to multiple stores to get it. So I was like, how can I make the areas of my life that are feeling tough, how can I lean into me being the exception to the rule, right? So in the places where I'm getting a no, like lean into the fact that I am the exception to the rule. And so we're going to go find the yes, as well as make it very convenient for me to take advantage of that yes. So what I did today was I had been deemed ineligible for my benefits for my childcare. And I was like, why am I ineligible? And it ended up being their issue, not mine, because they had asked me for some specific documentation. I had sent them that specific documentation, but it wasn't all the documentation that they needed. And I'm like, but I asked you what you needed and you didn't tell me that you needed this. So of course I didn't send it to you. So how are you going to make me ineligible? I have the documents that you need. If you would have asked me for it, I would have provided it to you. So initially I was talking to the woman on the phone and she was like, oh, I'm going to transfer you over to your caseworker, which is standard procedure. And I was like, no, I don't want to be transferred, right? I don't want to be transferred because I've been transferred before. She never answers the phone. I've left her 3 messages and she has not called me back. I need to know, what do I need to do to make sure that I am deemed eligible, right? Even though I've been ineligible, I'm not going to file a complaint. I'm not going to file, what they say, I forget what it's called, an appeal. I want to solve this and resolve this right now. So she said, oh, I'm going to send an email to her and I'm going to CC her manager. I said, okay, you do that. And then I also proceeded to get up from my desk and drive to the office, because in leaning into being the exception to the rule, I was like, I need to talk to somebody face to face today. Like I need somebody to hear my story, see my face, so I can make sure that they're clear that me being ineligible is not an option. And even though I've been deemed ineligible and there's a process to go through, I am the exception, and I need y'all to lean into this exception, right? I also decided I'm going to do the same thing with regard to getting the credit we need for our property, because we didn't get approved at the bank that I went to, but I'm going to go to Wells Fargo. I've had Wells Fargo as a business bank account, 2 business bank accounts with Wells Fargo for at least 5 years. Consistent, deposits in there, transactions in there. And I'm like, I fully expect y'all to give me the funding that I need for my business, because we have a relationship. So I have a meeting with them tomorrow, and I'm going to go in there and lean into the fact that I am the exception to the rule, and I need you all to make this happen, right? And then from a convenience perspective, I was just like, even though I really, really, really want to be able to outsource the booking of this trip to Bali, right? I would ideally love to be able to just hand it over to somebody and say, can you do this? I realized that there aren't many people who can do what I do. There aren't many people who can plan the way I do. There aren't many people who can create experiences the way I do in countries, who can learn the lay of the land of a city in a country very quickly to be able to assess the cool things to do, the unique things to do, the cultural things to do, the people to be with. Like, there's not many people who can do that. And thus and so. In order for it to be convenient, like, I am just going to do it myself. But I'm going to leverage the tools that I can use as, I'm not a travel agent, but the tools, the people who are in country, right, to be able to create the experience and not have to be so hands-on. So I'm going to leverage the hotel staff in order to help me with booking some of the excursions that I want to do. And I'm going to leverage Kayak to help me bundle together the flight and the hotel. So that's where I am today on the journey. I hope this was helpful. I hope you are finding ways to lean into the fact that you are also the exception to the rules, and that the things that you need to accomplish can also be convenient, even when they're problematic. So if this video was helpful, leave me a comment. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was. If you like this video, then I know you are one of my people. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so that you can see more of me on my journey to becoming a full-time entrepreneur. And you also can learn more about how to transform your life through travel. Until we meet again, stay tripping.